Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have to catch up on some messages for you today and oracle cards at the end as usual. The energies have been very strong this week. Actually, I didn't sleep well for like 3 nights in a row, and then last night and the night before I slept okay, but I still feel like I was just hit by a Mack truck, so I feel like I haven't slept last night. I did do a session last night which may have, caused some of the feeling of being drained today. But the session was, positive energetically. So, but anyway, I'm going to get right into it. I hope you guys are all holding up okay in these energies. It's just about, allowing whatever wants to come up to come out. Let it come out. And then do your best to come back to the present moment and to joy. The last time I posted was the 24th, and that night I started watching, it's like a limited series, movie type thing called Maniac. So I don't know if any of you have watched it, but everything was singing so much. It was like the day was the 24th, and the room number on the hotel was 24, and the doctor was going up to the 77th floor, and the names were all names related to me and my twin, and so it's kind of interesting series, and I watched it over 3 nights, and it was actually very cool and very, and the end was even like the scientist and his partner end up being kind of like, twins at the end. It's really funny. Kind of cool movie. Or series, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, that was Maniac. And I'm just going to get into some of the energies from the 25th to the 26th, and I'm just going to give you the reads from the Divine Masculine late yesterday, or yesterday afternoon, and then today, this morning, the Divine Feminine. So the read for the Divine Masculine yesterday is this. Okay, and then for the Divine Feminine, is this one. This was this morning. Okay. Okay, so on the 25th, I was getting the first thing that came up when I got my codes was Jurassic Park. And all the coding that keeps coming up, it's a lot about these harsh energies we're experiencing, about not being quite in alignment, needing strength of the 9, of the Divine Feminine inside the Divine Masculine, so being the heart of the Divine Masculine and using that strength to realign yourself every time. Like we're getting knocked down constantly to show ourselves how we can get back to alignment, or back to 0 point quickly. Also about support, like there's inadequate support. Like if you don't have support of the whole team, it's inadequate. There needs to be support of the whole team. And affection was coming up this morning as well, showing affection. That physical love. And just, being affectionate to those people that you love, or people that you maybe haven't paid attention to, that you need to give some attention to. That was coming up this morning. But just the codes in general were about these harsh energies. I was getting finite and canine, along with Jurassic Park, and also loyalty limits. Finite, canine, having to do with loyalty limits. You might feel like you're in Jurassic Park right now. And when I looked up the codes on the 25th, some interesting things were coming up. 7 of 9 came up from, and that was Memory Alpha fandom. And it just said, was 7 of 9 was a human female who was a former Borg drone. She was born Annika Hansen on stardate 25479, and in parentheses was 2349, the daughter of eccentric exobiologists Magnus and Erin Hansen. So if this was from Star Trek, which I'm not a Trekkie, so I don't always know this stuff. But it was 4 to 7 series of Star Trek, and that was 1993 to 99, if that syncs for somebody. I was also getting the 9 players in sporting news that matter, that I can't read my writing. That had to do with round 18 of the AFL. 23 disposals, 7 marks, 2 goals, 49.4 Ascendant Bombers versus female Dockers. Their strength away, always scary. Amount of forward firepower, with green wood adding another. So there's all this energy, which is still coming up today, of aggressive energy. And it's funny, a lot of game stuff was coming up between the 25th and today. Also, the 9 of Wands came up about great struggle, to stop struggling, to have determination and know your strength. Having to do with the 9 of Wands and that struggling, because that's really, whenever I see the 9 of Wands, or actually I'm thinking of the 9 of Swords, but the 9 of Wands, you know, that's all about your wounding and letting go. You know, it's like guarding all of the things you've struggled for in the past. And you're still fighting, even though you don't have the energy to fight anymore. It's about letting go and letting all the burdens go. Also, something that came up, and this was from blog Sonic Wall. The 9 of Wands was from Keen.com. The top 7 for better Wi-Fi. And I was getting this as relating to the connection, the communication connection between the twins. And on March 22nd, 2018, it said improper design and planning. Okay? That you need coverage. Do you want coverage or density? So it was coverage over density, or vice versa. Use density if you don't want to get dropped. Okay? Heat maps and design dense, secure, reliable wireless environment. Heat maps, they use heat maps to design dense, secure, reliable wireless environment. Full power is not always best. EK, 2 people screaming, an example of that is two people screaming at each other at the same time. They can't understand each other. Okay? So when people are arguing and want to be heard at the same time, you can't hear each other. It's saying full power is not always best. Sometimes you need to pull back on your power. Concrete walls, the environment, concrete walls and metal cause blockages. Okay? So being unyielding, stiff, solid, causes blocks. Don't communicate at lower data rates. You'll get a poor experience. So don't use your lower energies. And if you're feeling in your lower energies, don't choose that to be the time when you communicate. Increase your communication at higher frequencies for a better experience. This is all for the top 7 ways to have better Wi-Fi. And then I got a website, Names of God in Judaism. The 7 names of, and the header quotes El Roy, El my shepherd, and El Gibor, El is strength. So again, the strength card keeps coming up. It came up again this morning. So God is giving you strength. God is your shepherd. Also, just listing information about the word God and the different terms used for God and what was considered sacred and not touchable or not sayable in synagogue. So they used, instead of saying God, there were words meaning basically my lords or God, which were another way to say Hashim, Adonai. So God is the tetragrammaton. How do you say that? Tetragrammaton. I want to say grammation. Is what we say is Yahweh. Is actually YHWH. It's just the symbology. Okay, it's anglicized by Jehovah and Yahweh or the Lord. And actually I saw it brought up a stone. Actually I wanted to show you that. A picture of where that comes from, the YH. Or the, obviously I can't talk today. Let's see where this picture is. So this is the actual stone that comes off of, in case any of you were curious. So that coding might be important for you as well. So I thought it was very interesting. By the way, the cat was curled up on my deck couch in the back this morning, very peacefully sleeping. Okay, so in Rabbinic Judaism, 7 names so holy that when they're written are not to be erased. And that's El, well, the YHWH symbol. El, Eloah, Elohim, El Shaddai, Elway, and I think that was all of them. Anyway, it goes into more about that, but the Torah comes from YHWH and Elohim. Then another site came up with unstoppable. You are unstoppable. And then another one about the consciousness and Jungian psychology. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And that's from top3x.net. Jungian irrational sensation is the superior function at point 7, or SE, and point 8, SI. Irrational intuition is the superior function at point 4, NE, at point 9, NI. Rational thinking is the superior function at point 1, or TE, and point 5, TI. And rational feeling is the superior function at point 2, FE, and point 6, FI. Also, some numbers were coming up. Also, it was weird, a form for a cement purchase came up, all in rupees. That was interesting. And a lot of the numbers that came up under that were synced with me. But anyway, that was from the 25th, some of the stuff that was coming up. And it's kind of, there's kind of like a mishmash of information. It's reflecting in the way I'm bringing it to you. It wasn't really clear, but it's just reflecting this very dense energy that we're going through right now. Anything else I ended up, there was on the 25th, there was a flood alert at 4:19 that day, as well as I ended up looking up magic shows. So magic shows was coming up, as well as just aggressive energies the past couple days, like trucks and cars speeding really fast past my house. And it was interesting because the one day they were all going in one direction, and then the next day they were all going in the other direction. Okay, and then on the 26th, that was the energy of the Six of Cups and the Page of Wands, the 26th. When I put the codes in on the 26th, I got something that came up from online was postural orthostatic syndrome, if that applies to anyone. Also, threatening energy was coming through the codes on the 26th. The whole 9 again, I was getting 3, there's 3 is only partial support of 9, that you must add the other 6 support in a no hugs and kisses environment, okay? So there needs to be more affection here and more full support of each other. Also, I was getting that INE again, which is the end of, like crystalline, which is like pertaining to nature of or like something else, okay, the INE. And crystalline does come up in that example. Maybe be like crystal, be your crystalline self. But it was definitely about that more support is needed. Only partial support is coming up in groups, and there needs to be more full support and actually physical affection, which comes up again today. Okay. Also, scam likely came up for me on that day, on the 26th. And there's a lot of rain yesterday and today. Finally, the sun came back out again, but it's cooled down a little bit, so the energy feels different. I feel very like out of this world, like not of this world today. Yesterday was very aggressive energy. Like I was, a friend was coming over, and I heard them cursing outside, and this was not because they were fighting. That's just their energy. And then at the same time, I was hearing gunshots at there's a range where the police practice at times, so there was gunshots going off at the same time. I was also getting cheese stands alone yesterday, and it felt very much like that energy of just of feeling alone. I also got, I'll get into this. So for the Divine Masculine read yesterday, the major arcana were Justice, Alchemy, and Transition. There was 1 Pentacle, 3 Wands, 2 Cups, and 2 Swords. The King of Cups and the Queen of Wands were the only court cards. The number 33, 2, 3, 5 came up in 33, 23, 13, 22. But it was all about showing to the Divine Masculine that when there are 2 queens and 1 masculine, then the Divine Feminine gets hurt. Okay, so it's like in any way you looked at this coding, it was all about this, that the Divine Feminine gets hurt. The Divine Feminine's heartbreak. The Divine Feminine, is the person losing in this situation no matter what. It's showing that no matter how he looks at it, it is a 3-way situation, and he can't get out of that truth. He's been trying to find a way around that truth, and he just can't. So the read for the Divine Masculine yesterday is about him in the Bat Cave, which is the Divine Masculine heart, struggling to come out with his abilities. After home and deception of overwork and a marriage or a commitment, Could be a commitment in a relationship or a work commitment. I got turn back the clocks. It was so cool in the cards because it just reminded me that we have to turn back the clock soon. But it was literally coming out in the cards, turn back the clock. And then if I could turn back time was also coming up. So this was regarding the Divine Masculine as well. Slightly north of east came up. And I'm going to tell you one last time. So it's like someone, like a student getting in trouble, like the teacher saying that. I'm going to tell you one last time. It was very severe in a loving way, okay? And that was coming from the Sphinx. So put your wings up. There you go. Open your wings. But it was in a threatening way, okay? The gate is wide open to illuminate the twins holding on. Revisiting the past to get clear for the Divine Masculine. The past returns to move to peace about going within and walking away to end pain cycles with their twin. The cards that came up for the Divine Masculine were engagement. These are still all underlying energies. Love is out in the open as the karmic comes back for more, trying to relight a flame again. The love card comes up as the underlying energy, is super important. The Knight of Cups offers a choice. Holding back their passions while looking back and seeing I've been down that road before, I'm not going to do that again. So they're finally learning to break their patterns. He has the tools to make his dreams come true in his heart. The King of Swords is being wise about the Queen of Wands with his heart and his dreams. Okay, so this is coming up as the King of Swords as the Divine Masculine, and the Queen of Swords as the karmic, knowing that he's been down this road before, that he can't trust this person with his heart and his dreams. And also, he wants to end for the Divine Masculines who have children involved, they want to end the suffering for the children as well, along with the twin pain cycles. So this is where I always see the Nine of Swords now. I see as the pain cycles, because even when it's reversed, it's not the end, because you still have to experience the Ten of Swords. It's like showing we're our pain cycles that are never ending, but we learn to stay present at 0 point. Okay. Then I got a download, which is actually from an old song that I wrote to my son, that all my dreams are with you. Okay. All my dreams are with you. I was trying to remember the lyrics. I mean, it was many years ago. After a bad turn, juggling or just performing, acting, finding patience. Centrally for the Divine Masculine, the truth of the world in disarray due to rejection and justice of third-party jealousy of the Queen of Swords. This is the central issue for him. Challenged by a King of Cups, angry, exhausted, without power or money or independence, unjustly. Unfair connection waiting to be exposed. Now conflicted over third-party jealousy, in prison, so it could be most people are going to be mental, but there could be some people actually in prison. I've definitely spoken to people whose partners are in prison, okay? In prison after worst is over, being out of control. Now free to be over-emotional if he wants, and heal his dreams. Have a talk with a third party while the Emperor is exposed to a twin connection. So maybe an older person in the Divine Masculine's life, his father or a boss or a relative like an uncle or a father-in-law. Maybe this person he's finally exposing to what he's going through. Soon coming out, holding back passion with the Queen of Cups, but ascending. He is present to flame, manifesting but not expressing feelings of feeling left behind. Okay, and the cards that came up were for the Divine Masculine, let go of control issues and give your relationship a chance. Around him, there's some sneakiness about connection, holding space for him. He needs to clear blocks of transition portals, rising above, holding on, blocked and deliberating, not making a decision, okay? Effort and happy ending also comes up for the Divine Masculine very strongly. If he makes effort, he'll have a happy ending. For Libra and Queen of Pentacles, three-way heartbreak for him and his connection, his business partner and twin. The Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Swords are unable to get along at work. So that could be the karmic and a Divine Feminine, but it could also be two karmics the Divine Masculine is working with. I was getting the King of Pentacles moving forward into a trap with the King of Cups and King of Pentacles both reversed. It was like the Knight of Pentacles was offering more work to these people who were abusing him. Okay, the King of Cups reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed, and he was walking right into offering them more. Okay, so his destiny is fighting a war for a new beginning, holding back his words, dreams inspired, in his heart, being patient and present in his knowing, with the Queen of Wands, possible divorcing, King of Cups, to ascend through portal and conflict to separation for destiny. So he needs to let go and allow the complete transformation. So he's kind of always had his foot halfway out the door, but halfway there still. Yeah, that was the Divine Masculine. For today, the numbers for the Divine Feminine came up 77. There were no numbers in the codes, actually. There were 77 from the read, 242 and 79 came up as well. The major arcana for the Divine Feminine this morning were Solar Deity, which is the Sun, Alchemy, which is the Temperance card, and Strength. There were 2 Pentacles, 4 Wands, 2 Swords, and no Cups for the Divine Feminine. So you see, I was talking about this last time. The Divine Feminine is having less and less cups, and the Divine Masculine is having more and more cups in his reads. So it's 4 Wands, all about the Wands today. Again, there was a lot of aggressive energy in the past couple days as well as today. The coding was all about strength and effort for the Divine Feminine. To aim for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, use effort to focus on this. And this again I was getting as number 79. So use effort. It was saying that the Divine Feminine can be a woman of thought, which can make it a strength instead of a weakness. It's a strength with effort, and Spirit's connecting with me. And it's so about the Divine Feminine inside the Divine Masculine, that she is his heart. To use the 9 or 10 of orbs, those difficult cards, because you're so in your head, the pain cycles, as a strength by focusing on the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That was the message this morning. So the things that came up when I put the codes in had to do with the first site that came up was PoeCurrencyBuy.com, P-O-E, currency, B-U-Y.com. And it was POE 3.2 Marauder Reference Builds. And this is what it said in the header. The Marauder is Path of Exile's pure strength class, which means that they're fantastic at taking hits. Okay? So this again, this is this dark energy. We're showing our strength by taking the hits. And I was even asking, I wasn't getting clear guidance on whether I should move or not. And be careful about that too, in comparing yourself to others on their journeys, because some may be guided to move, some may be guided to just travel a lot, and some may be guided to do something completely different. It just depends on what your contract is and what your journey is. So just sometimes, you know, you feel like you're not doing something right because you see all these other people possibly moving, that kind of thing. Don't feel like you have to move. And I felt like I wanted to move at certain points, but I kept getting guidance to stay. And I still want to ultimately, I know I'll be moving eventually, but it's whether I move now or later. And I was asking again this morning because I was getting some, you know, random comments about moving from other people as well this past week or two. So I'm like, am I missing something? Am I supposed, you know, because I was just looking at another house, but I wasn't feeling it. So that's the guidance not to move. So I was literally asking that this morning about moving. You know, am I missing something? Am I supposed to move now? Because the energies are getting too dense in my neighborhood, because I'm already in a very dense area. And it came up in this. Okay, I just told you about the Marauder is the Path of Exile's Pure Strength class, which means that that's fantastic at taking hits. Okay, you're the one who's good at taking hits. You need to learn to not be intimidated by living anywhere, even if it's a dense, difficult area. Because this is our job as transmuters, and obviously I'm a dense transmuter person. You know, I'm in a major city here. So it's fantastic at taking hits, and in some cases better at dishing out punishment. So I thought these were kind of funny. It also said Marauder builds is appropriate right here, and then you're in the correct location. So this literally came up after I asked that question of, should I be moving? Am I missing something? And it's saying, no, you're in the correct location right now. Then I got from Girl Power comic, number 655 came up, and the Robotech. To me, it also seems logical to signify strength of the shot by the size of the Pipper circle for the Sydney traveling at 4 times the speed of sound to get there. So none of that makes sense to me, but I wanted to bring up the 655, and I just don't know that comic, so it might mean something to someone. And also Sydney, Australia was coming up, as well as traveling at the speed of sound, because sound is very important. 4 times the speed of sound to get there. Also, controller came up, having to do with downloads from Microsoft.com, and it said X strength, and also X's came up this morning as representative of the feminine, and that's confirmation. So X was equaling strength under this website. X11 or 12 was skill, and X1V, which is 14, was will. Strength, skill, and will. Look for opportunities to set up enemies. From enemies, absorb XP orbs by holding X. 4 different kinds. Okay, so maybe there's 4 different kinds of divine feminine warriors. Okay, and we're not considering other people enemies, but as a warrior, a divine feminine warrior, and there's definitely divine feminine warriors out there, if not all of us. It's just using the word enemy to contrast to warrior, and the divine feminine, and the feminine as X. So X strength, X11 or 12 skill, and then X1V or 14 is will, and then absorb XP, so divine feminine, and it looks like Page of Orbs to me, which is the swords, by holding the feminine power, the 4 different kinds. So absorb the Page of Swords, which is immature communications. It's news and messages, you know. Maybe you need to let go of some of that stuff, because it's just a lot of BS some of the time, you know. It's immature communication. Make sure you're clear on what you're saying to others so that they can't misconstrue what you're saying. And to mature your communication skills as the divine feminine. Also, tips and tricks came up for new Path of Exile players for the beginner's guide. Okay, so if you're feeling exiled right now and alone, okay, tips and tricks for the new Path of Exile players, beginner's guide. You're just learning again. You kind of get knocked off your perch to learn to come back again. Okay, so when it gets easy and things aren't so difficult to stay at 0 point, you're going to go through these times of not so easy to use your skills again and become higher frequency. Okay. Also, and that was from Odealo.com, Odealo.com. And then also Ultimate Quest of the Avatar came up. Stats for the RPG. It was saying STR stat affects damage done to enemies, and the INT stat affects characters' hit percentage in battle. So this is all about the battle we're going through right now. Also, the O-ring boss fittings came up, and that was from pressureconnections.com. That last one was from Tatarus, Tatarus, rpgclassics.com. And then this one was from pressureconnections.com. The O-ring boss, page 118, which is a very significant number in Judaism. Information on pages 116 and 117, 142, and actually 42 is the Two of Cups. And then 6400 came up, which is the 10 of Swords, which came up in as an important number in that sequence. Straight thread connector. And then a bunch of numbers came up. A male, JIC. Okay, and then male orb, SAE, which in my line of work, because I did research at Penn for 25 years, was, it said male orb, SAE, which is serious adverse event. And the number that came up was 070120, reference Aero Quip 202702, reference Parker F50X/0503. So I just wanted to bring up those numbers because they came up. So for the Divine Feminine, the colors that were coming up were yellow and aqua, very much about the solar plexus. And actually, in my session last night, aqua was coming from the Divine Masculine. And we don't talk about aqua a lot, but it's a very important color. And it's something I've always resonated. Aqua and violet were the two colors that I always resonated with most strongly. So aqua specifically was coming up today, along with yellow. And it can even be aqua to tealish colors. For the Divine Feminine, there's warlike, defensive energies. Like I said, there's very aggressive energies in the air right now. But the war or defensiveness creates block to exposure of light. The sun can be so bright that the individual light is hard to see. And here I was getting overexposure to light. So we're feeling like this because we're being overexposed to the light downloads, okay? So again, the sun can be so bright that the individual light is hard to see, okay? And actually I was feeling this in my connection last night too. I was getting a lot of interference, and it was overexposure. I was feeling like too much energy, like my eyelids kept fluttering and things like that. It was hard to get a good message, a good clarity on my field of view. I was getting the Hermit or Virgo energy is dimmed by the Leo or the Strength energy. Okay, so here we have the Sun, which is Leo energy. It's very bright and strong, but it's overexposure to light, so it can be considered an attack. Okay, you may feel like you're getting psychic attacks. You may be getting psychic attacks, but you're also getting these light downloads, which feel like an attack. It's also going to bring out that aggressiveness in the Leo energy. So in the Leo, people who have a lot of Leo. Then I was getting that air causes fire to attack, and water blocks fire. Okay, because we just had the Hermit and the Strength card, which are the earth and the fire, and then we following that up on it, where air causes fire to attack, right? Because it like pokes at the fire energy people. And then the water comes in to douse the flame. It blocks the fire, puts it out. So what are these dynamics? This is the underlying energy for the Divine Feminine today. So what are these dynamics causing in your life? And apply those different things specifically to you and the people in your life and see what comes up. The Emperor's out watching. Christ consciousness is above religion and allows you to express your feelings and creativity. I thought that was a great download. Going within at night, the Queen of Cups is uninspired to give messages because of these harsh feelings, of the harsh energies. Exposure of feelings and physical actions behind the messages of truth. Okay? And the card that came up as the underlying energy for the Divine Feminine was You Deserve Love. Free to feel passion and talk about it with tweets. Okay, and then files and magnets came up, switchblades, paperclip, pins and needles, pins, pinnings, underpinnings, metal scroll work, protect self, and be love. Okay? So it's so important in these energies, it's reminding you to make sure you protect yourself every day, a couple times a day, and be love. Because love will always raise your vibration, protect you. The card Happy Ending comes up for the Divine Feminine. Offers of love trump blocks. So if you feel blocked, offer love. Loss of abundance and blocks with conditional love and sneakiness or half-truths is exposed. So again, we've been getting this exposure energy constantly over the past few weeks. So anything that has been covered is coming out. Recently, after jealousy, there's a portal open to new life of expansion and holding back passion in order to open your heart more fully for the Divine Feminine and allow others in. Allowing others in isn't being polite, it's being authentic. Exposure of half-truths is just fear. It's releasing more wounding to allow these half-truths to come out and allow others fully into your heart. The foundation for the Divine Feminine is separating the wheat from the chaff, the negative energy identified, bringing clarity of mind, and passing on downloads in a more streamlined way, holding back a little at a time with patience. Centrally, in the midst of the fire energies, while detoxing indecision and frustration regarding union or reunion of the angels, the challenge is finding peace after reliving the past or allowing it back to inspire new creativity in order to bump out the old burdens with your new passion, getting physically active, making an effort. Now is alchemy, which is patience and balance, the mixing of these, taking two disparaging things and making them one. After sneakiness and half-truths, trying not to hurt other people's feelings is not the right thing to do. You shouldn't purposely hurt someone, but you should always be in your truth. And if your truth hurts someone, that's okay, because then that becomes their wound to heal. So in trying not to hurt other people's feeling, as well as illness and low energy right now, due to not judging, not making decisions, or making poor decisions about your dreams and opportunities in love, new love and moving forward without excuses. Patience in taming the beast. Allowing others stalking by leaning on the truth and ignoring them causes burdens, as well as longing for new love, self-love, to be a friend to yourself, to be healthy. So allow yourself patience in taming the beast. And it's saying allowing others stalking by leaning on your truth and ignoring them also causes burden, because it causes that longing for the new love. You're ignoring what you're feeling. That self-love, to be a friend to yourself and be healthy. So soon for the Divine Feminine, finding your way back out of the dungeon into the light by just lighting a match. Just a little light is all it takes. One flame is all it takes. After going out into the world to shine your light and weren't in your full truth. The Divine Feminine is feeling like she is in the King of Wands energy, or the Master of Flames, right? Mastering your passion energies. Also Shaman. Giving to others, connecting, leading the journey to enlightenment and angelic realms with patience and balance. The cards that came up have to do with retreat, so something you might need to retreat, to get your balance again. And also romantic feelings, okay? That your feelings are real and they deserve to be felt and possibly heard. So around the Divine Feminine is the Knight of Wands energy. So you see there's a lot of masculine energy here, as well as the major arcana, or the Strength card and the Sun card, which normally be Leo, but in the Sirian Starseed deck, the Strength card is a Tiger, which I get very Sagittarian energy. So it can be Leo or Sag, but then we also have Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. So it's very much Leo and Sagittarius, all about those energies today, from the start to the finish line. The Emperor with truth and in their power, in control of their destiny. In choosing a path. Okay, so this Knight of Wands energy around you of getting physically moving, you know, or somebody passionately coming into your space, is someone who's finally come into their truth and come into their power and control of their destiny and actually deciding on a path. Clearing blocks for the Divine Feminine. She needs to clear blocks of workplace and Trinity, you know, coming together at work to get along with others. After destiny in your past puts you in lack in order to bring things to light for you. So don't feel like it's going to happen again like that. It was just to teach you something. The cards that came up again are effort and change, even more so for the Divine Feminine. Okay, changes. Allow the changes. Be a friend, light a flame or a torch, and offering love is being strong. In spirituality, not expressing, holding back creates burden. Not communicating or not committing, delaying physical or energetic communication creates a burden. If you need to express it, it needs to be expressed. So, you know, if you want to have a temper tantrum, obviously don't have it to someone, but have a tantrum in your room by yourself to allow that energy to come out. You know, if you need to hit a pillow or go out and exercise or run or scream, let it out. Don't keep it in, because then you're pushing it down. The King of Wands energy needs to show affection to those he's hurt. Okay, so now the King of Wands was coming up as how the Divine Feminine sees herself today, or she just sees herself in her masculine's energy. But whoever this King of Wands is coming up as needs to show affection to someone that they've hurt or left behind. It's all about the physicalness today, okay? Showing love is always strength. The King of Swords is in love and taking steps. Recovering practically to free self for a leap of faith to offer love to one who may not accept it, which would be of great loss emotionally to him. So there's full exposure of downloads, lies, and sneakiness of the King of Wands and Knight of Wands, as well as the Divine Feminine's heart expansion to find peace and come out of the dark, to come together for work or at work in order to alchemize, be patient and balanced, strong as the eye of the tiger, who may have his eye on you. So there may be conflict also with Leo and or Sagittarius energy, since this is coming up and there's such strong aggressive energy in alchemizing reunion, okay? So if you're coming into union with your Divine Masculine, there could be some conflict coming up with a Leo or a Sagittarius in your space. Okay, now I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you. I didn't get in too much into the sand the past couple days, but there's definitely more shark energy coming up. It's not all negative, it's just about that, and also the shark was being related the other day to our inner psychic connection, that the shark has that same type of intuition. Okay, so for the Ascension deck, and take a deep breath. What is the advice from the Ascension deck for the organic true twin flames today? This September 27, 2018. What is the advice? What is the advice? It's Isis. And the bottom of the deck is El Moria, which is number 44, which is the Atlas, the weight of the world upon your shoulders. Okay, and the affirmation is, I stand in my power, for El Moria. And it talks about the 12 strands. Use your power for the highest good. Okay, and Isis comes up. Okay, Isis is 38, which is the Queen of Cups. 44 is the Four of Cups. Okay, and 38, it's interesting that these two came up. They're not usual cards for me, and actually they're my numbers though. Isis is 38, 38 is my soul number, and 44 is my life lesson number. So 38 is the Queen of Cups. It's that 11, it's very spiritual and visionary. It's the 8 of inner strength, coming out as joy on the outside, someone who's very smiley and communicative, expressing themselves the way they want, and just wanting to come together with others, bringing that joy. Okay, it says the illumined master Isis was Mara in Lemuria, Isis, the high priestess of Atlantis, mother of Horus in Egypt, and Mary, mother of Jesus. She was always overlooked by the universal angel Mary, who helped Isis pass her initiations and ascend in each lifetime. This card reminds you of the power of the feminine. Face your challenges with equanimity and courage, knowing you are helped by the angels. Keep your light bright and your energy pure, no matter what, and this will enable you to influence many on their ascension path. Remember, there's a greater plan. And the affirmation is, I face my challenges with calm and strength. Okay, so that is right in line with what we were talking about today. In these difficult energies, just keep yourself protected and clear. Okay, you need to clear your energy every day and protect yourself every time, especially when you go out into public, every day. You face your challenge with calm and strength. And staying at 0 point and in this place will help you present in all situations with calm and strength. For the past life deck, here's the past life deck. Okay, clear and align. Take another deep breath. Clear and align. Okay, for the organic true twins, what is the advice today? There you go. Angels. Perfect. And Atlantis is the bottom of the deck. Okay, so we have the dolphins, which actually came up for me in my session last night. The card that came up was angels. So call on your angels. You have to ask them to come in for help. Okay? And this is very much the energy of the mother. That's all they're saying. Okay? Is ask your guides and angels for assistance. They're waiting for you. Okay? Especially in these harsh energies. And also the dolphins came up again. Listen to the dolphin sounds. And the pillars of light. Pillars of light came up last night as well. Okay, journey of love. Take another deep breath. So true organic twins, what is the advice today? Okay. The bottom of the deck is Ethereal Touch, number 27, which is the date. And 27 is the 9 of love and compassion, universal selflessness, and endings. And it's the 7 of spirituality on the inside, coming through the divine feminine, the 2 on the outside, being a good mediator, seeing both sides of the situation, being soft. The card that came out is Towering Magnificence. Okay, Towering Magnificence is 30, which is the 4 of Wands. So it's again the 3 of joy and self-expression. When you need to be angry, express yourself, let it out. When you need to be sad, express yourself, let it out. Don't hold it in, that's pushing it down, it's not clearing your wounds, okay? That's what they mean about being authentic, no matter what. Don't take it out on others, but express it. And if it's exercise, you know, all the better. But don't push it down. The 30 is the 3, it's the 0 of God energy, source energy inside. Connecting with your higher self, always being connected with your higher self on the inside, brings joy on the outside. Being that smile, that energy to offer others, to lighten their load. Okay, coming together and expressing yourself just the way you want. When you're always authentic with others, there's always going to be trust, because the others will feel that energy of truth. Okay. And I'm going to read that to you, number 30. Okay. Towering magnificence. You're entering the presence of the truly great and sublime divinity. It is without form, yet exists within all forms. It is humbling and yet asks nothing of you. It just is, and when we encounter it, we are moved beyond words, beyond mind, and into realms of the heart that we may never have experienced before. It takes a brave soul to meet the towering majesty of divine presence. It can be a terrifying experience as limitations, preconceived notions, and identities crumble in the wake of its light. You're being brought to this place out of love because you are ready. Your soul has been craving connection to something much larger than yourself, to find something worthy to which it can devote itself entirely. This greatness is becoming available to you now to be witnessed to the extent that is helpful, so that you can find the greater purpose of service which your heart craves. You are ready. This oracle brings you comfort that your inner path, your opening up to direct experience of the divine presence, is happening now according to divine timing and grace. This is also confirmation that you are connecting with your spiritual guidance more consciously now, and that any sense of self that appears to be falling away from you now is because your divinity has outgrown it, and a new awareness is taking its place. And the poem reads, mighty sentinels, connecting heaven and earth, wisdom of the ancients, waiting for those who listen in the quiet. Okay, so again, this is, and Spirit's still connecting. This is reiterating, the angels are waiting for you to call on them. Okay, and you have to ask every day. So it's just bringing you into more into your spiritual practice. That you need to not only protect and clear yourself, but meditate every day. It's a spiritual practice. Okay, if you let go of it, then you may lose your abilities, just like anything else. So it's a spiritual practice just to be able to stay present in those energies. Something else that came up just about being really authentic, in the way that different people present their abilities, and even myself in doing cards. And it's not so much about me reading cards and predicting future. I mean, I use cards mostly because I tend to be a nervous person in front of other people, so it relaxes me so that my channeled energies can come through. And actually, initially I was doing cards for myself in the morning and then doing separate cards for my reads. And Spirit was guiding me not to use my own reads as the Divine Feminine reads, because that's where all my codes were coming through. And because it was the more authentic I am to me, the more authentic the energy is for you, because we're one. And so the more I'm in my authenticity, the more it comes out as clear to the oneness, or to the collective consciousness, because we each are the collective consciousness. You just need to be in your full authenticity and your truth. So it's just understanding that, and not being, as soon as you're afraid to say anything or be anything, you're going into fear, which is not love, and that's not truth. So it's as simple as that, love or fear. But often, we get confused, and as soon as you're in confusion, that's like a no. It's like, don't make a decision now because you're confused. Go back to being balanced, and then make your decision. There's always patience involved here, because sometimes we'll make ourselves feel rushed to do something, that there's a time limit on something, or someone else will pressure us because they want something from us. But to never feel pressured. If there's any confusion, don't make that decision. Wait, because you always change your energy the next day. So just remind yourself of these things, okay? Make sure you eat well and rest. So important to rest right now. You might want to isolate a little bit just to, keep your energies more pure while these really difficult energies are coming in. And just make sure you drink your water and get rest, and get some kind of exercise. At least take a walk or something like that. And be good to yourself. And don't feel like you're doing anything wrong. It always is what it is. You're not doing anything wrong. Ask for your guidance every day, and you're fine. Okay? Rise and be loved, guys. Have an amazing day.